A legend that began with a single gift. Margaret Greville did something that transformed the Windsor treasure vault forever. Her legacy spanned 3 British eras, but few know the vision behind this decision. The Cartier necklace conceals a story of friendship with a queen, secret commissions, and transformations that amazed even the most experienced craftsmen. Why didn't Greville stop at 2 strands? What made her return to the jewelers years later? And how did an ordinary lady outshine the wealth of Maharajas? What stands behind this gift exceeds all expectations. Margaret Greville was not a queen. She wore no crown and ruled no country. But she possessed something greater: boundless influence and friendship with Queen Mary, wife of King George V. This woman had a rare gift. She understood the language of precious stones better than anyone at court. For her, jewels were not mere ornaments. They were art, history, legacy. Each stone told its own story. Each cut carried a message. Margaret attended the most exclusive receptions, knew every court secret, and had access to places others could never enter. Her London salon was a place where destinies were decided, not just of people, but of entire jewelry empires. And then something interesting happened. This remarkable woman decided to create something that would surpass all existing royal jewels. And her first step in this direction would be merely a prelude to the true masterpiece. The 1920s. London experienced an era of incredible luxury and experimentation. It was then that Margaret Greville placed her first commission, later called the garland. Initially, the jewelers created 2 strands of diamond threads, graceful, elegant, worthy of any queen. But Margaret looked at the craftsman's work and spoke words that changed everything. Add 3 more strands. Imagine the jeweler's reaction. 3 additional strands meant not simply more stones. It meant creating something unprecedented, something the world had never seen. The piece transformed into a true symphony of diamonds. 300 carats of precious stones lay in even, sparkling rows. When light fell upon this creation, it seemed you were looking not at jewelry, but at a living, breathing garland of frozen light. Massive, luxurious, incredible. It outshone everything worn even by crowned heads. But that's not all. While the masters worked on the garland, an even bolder plan was forming in Margaret's mind. A plan that would come to life nearly a decade later and become the true pearl of her collection. 1929. Margaret Greville walks through the doors of Cartier's London workshop. In her eyes burns that special gleam that appears in people who have conceived something grand. She commissions a long festoon necklace in Art Deco style. 2 strands of diamonds in platinum settings, connected by a silver chain. The Cartier masters create an exquisite work, worthy of their reputation. Margaret accepts the work, and it seems the story ends there. 8 years pass. 1937 brings a new era to Britain. The coronation of King George VI and his wife Elizabeth, the splendor of the ceremony, the brilliance of the regalia, the grandeur of the moment. All this awakens a new idea in Margaret. The next owner would change the piece's destiny. But first, Margaret had to complete her vision. In 1938, she returns to Cartier with that very festoon necklace. Her request astonishes even the most experienced masters. Remove the silver chain, make the 2-strand necklace entirely diamond, and create a second necklace, 3 strands, smaller in size, so it fits inside the first. Documents reveal an unexpected turn. Margaret envisioned creating a jewelry transformer, a 3-in-1 piece that could be worn in 3 different variations. The technical complexity of this project was colossal. The Cartier masters had to create 2 separate necklaces that would perfectly complement each other while maintaining unity of style and vision. The 2-strand outer necklace became the foundation. Its graceful lines and geometric Art Deco motifs created a majestic frame. The three-strand inner necklace, smaller in diameter, precisely echoed the design elements of the first, but in more compact form. And now, the most interesting part. When both necklaces were joined together, they formed a 5-strand diamond collar of such beauty and power that jewelry historians compared it to Cartier's greatest creations for Indian Maharajas. Imagine, you could wear only the 2-strand necklace for a more restrained look. You could choose the 3-strand version for an elegant evening. Or you could appear at a reception in full 5-strand magnificence, making everyone present forget to breathe. Versatility, refinement, technical perfection. Everything merged into one creation. The richness of this piece truly rivaled commissions for Eastern rulers, famed for their love of luxury. And now we approach the main question. How did these incredible treasures come into the hands of the royal family? 1942. Wartime changes fates and priorities. Margaret Greville makes a decision that would forever alter the history of British royal jewels. She bequeaths her jewelry legacy to Queen Elizabeth, wife of George VI, that very woman who would later enter history as the Queen Mother. This was not simply a gift. It was trust, recognition of taste, continuity of tradition. What did the Windsors receive? The garland worth $8 million, the grand festoon necklace, the famous Greville tiara, drop earrings, bracelets, brooches, an entire collection of Art Deco masterpieces, each of which could have become the jewel of any museum. Photographs captured the important moment of this legacy's transfer. The Queen Mother accepted the gift with deep gratitude, understanding its value, not only material but symbolic. These pieces held memories of friendship, of a pre-war era of elegance, of a woman with impeccable taste. But the most important part lay ahead. These jewels were destined to shine at royal receptions, survive decades, become witnesses to history. The post-war years brought new life to the royal jewels. The Queen Mother decided that Greville's magnificent legacy would not lie in safes. It should shine at the most solemn events. 1950 became triumphant for the festoon necklace. A state visit to the Netherlands required full ceremonial attire, and the Queen Mother appeared at the official dinner in dazzling magnificence. All 5 strands of the necklace simultaneously. The Greville tiara in its original setting. A diamond bracelet once belonging to Queen Victoria. This image entered history as one of the most luxurious of the 20th century. Chandelier light reflected in hundreds of diamond facets, creating the effect of a living waterfall of light. Those present could not look away. Journalists wrote enthusiastic articles. Photographers captured the moment for posterity. A decade later, the situation changed. The Queen Mother, growing older, began preferring more streamlined options. 5 strands required certain physical endurance. The piece was heavy and massive. 1998. December. The Queen Mother is 98 years old, but she remains an icon of style and elegance. At a ceremonial reception, she appears in the 3-strand version of the festoon necklace. Records from that time show she paired it with the restored Greville tiara and elegant drop earrings. The look was refined, exquisite, worthy of a great lady of royal blood. But the real turning point came in August 2001. The Queen Mother celebrates her 101st birthday. A ballet performance in her honor becomes one of her last public appearances in full ceremonial attire. She wears the 3-strand necklace, drop earrings, and a special symbolic brooch called the Centenary Rose, a gift for her 100th birthday. This choice of jewelry was filled with deep meaning, a rose that lived a century and jewels that survived eras. So what is the real value of these pieces? Not in carats, not in millions of dollars, in memory, in continuity, in how they connect generations, eras, destinies. 2002 brings the end of an era. The Queen Mother leaves this world at the age of 101. Her jewelry legacy passes to her daughter, Queen Elizabeth II. And here appears a new heroine of this story. Queen Elizabeth II makes a wise decision. The grand festoon necklace needs a worthy owner, capable of continuing the tradition. She offers it on long-term loan to the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla. November 2007. Uganda. Meeting of Commonwealth Heads of Government. Camilla makes her debut with the legendary piece, and it becomes a sensation. She wears all 5 strands at once, a bold choice, worthy of her predecessors. To the necklace she adds the Greville tiara and her own earrings, pear-shaped diamonds that would become her signature style element. The press explodes with commentary. Some admire her boldness, some criticize the massiveness of the look. But one thing is indisputable. Camilla was not afraid to take responsibility for wearing one of the most significant pieces of the British crown. June 2015 brings a new celebration, the bicentenary of the Duke of Wellington's Waterloo Banquets, an event requiring maximum formality. Camilla again chooses the full 5-strand magnificence with the Greville tiara and pear-shaped earrings. October 2018. A concert dedicated to Prince Charles's 70th birthday. The key moment arrives when Camilla appears in the hall. 5 strands of diamonds, pear-shaped cluster earrings, the image of a mature, confident woman continuing a great tradition. Let's look at the facts. More than 80 years have passed since the Windsors received these pieces. 3 generations of royals. 3 completely different eras: post-war recovery, the height of the British Empire, modernity. The Queen Mother wore them with the majestic elegance of the old school. Camilla brought a modern understanding of style while preserving respect for tradition. The same jewels, but each owner created her own unique image. What really happened over these decades? The pieces became more than expensive things. They transformed into living history, into a symbol of continuity, into a link between past and present. If we evaluate all of Greville's legacy today, accounting for inflation, historical significance, and rarity, its value may exceed $100 million. But can you really measure the value of history in money? The garland with its 300 carats of diamonds, the grand festoon necklace capable of transforming into 3 different pieces, the tiara that witnessed coronations and state visits. Each stone preserves reflections of ballrooms, remembers the music of orchestras, the light of palace chandeliers. Margaret Greville created not simply a collection of jewels, she created a legacy that will survive centuries. Her friendship with Queen Mary, her impeccable taste, her understanding that true luxury lies not in the quantity of stones, but in how they tell a story. The truth turned out far more beautiful. No ambitions, only impeccable taste and friendship that created a legend. Margaret Greville didn't outshine Maharajas from a thirst for fame. She simply understood the language of precious stones better than anyone. Her return to the jewelers was not intrigue, but brilliant vision. 3 eras, 3 generations, 1 legacy. Isn't it remarkable how a gift can connect an entire history? If this story captivated you, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to learn about other royal treasures. Turn on notifications. More amazing stories about jewels that survived centuries await. Thank you for being with us. Until we meet again.